Hey everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, MBs everywhere. Welcome back to the show, the most interactive wrestling show. That's what I meant to say. Welcome back to the most interactive wrestling show on the interweb. Welcome back to Wrestling with Omer. I am your host, Omer Hugh. It is July 19th, 2025. We are much closer to the year 2050 than we are the year 2000. We are old. We are all slowly dying, but we are going to go down together in a blaze of goofiness as we go through all of the wonderfully wacky stuff. I'm not cursing anymore. I'm trying not to curse anymore. Stuff that's going on in the world of professional wrestling. What's going on, chat? Sound off. Y'all know the drill for this show. You have a question, you have a comment, you have a concern, you leave it in the chat. We get to it at some point. You want to guarantee your question or statement is read out, answered on the air. Leave a super chat. I know we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We got to talk about AEW All In, the fallout, the business side of things, how that looked for AEW. We're also going to get into the WWE stories of the day. Rikishi was crashing out a couple of times. We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about a major Kevin Owens update courtesy of the good folks over at FightfulSelect.com. All that much more. And whatever the hell else you want to talk about. We might even get to some goofiness. I have some potential goofiness planned later, but I mean, well, it's kind of unplanned goofiness. I don't know. It is goofiness nonetheless. There will be goofiness as there is every broadcast. What's up, Michelle? Good to see you. Eric Douglas in the chat. What's going on, chat? Guys, you guys know the drill. Be sure to, I changed colors where the background did. Ooh. You got to fix that. Be sure to smash that thumbs up. Maybe we just turn on the light a little bit more. It's stabilized. All right, we're stabilized. But one thing that will not stabilize is the aura of this show. It is completely unstable. Anyway, guys, let's talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. It's fun day. It is Saturday. I am so hyped to be here with y'all. A lot to get into. Let's start off talking about let's start with some lighthearted stuff. So I found this, right? This is Adam Sandler actually talking about MJF, which I thought was pretty cool. So Adam Sandler, this is according to Russell Purist, courtesy of Chris Van Vliet, which Chris Van Vliet got an interview with Adam Sandler. That's crazy. But here's the quote. Talking about MJF. Funny as hell. What a great kid. Love him. Family member. He went and had a match and then came back the next day. He was all right. He came bruised. He had some extra bruises. He was a stud. That kid is jacked, and he's a stud. I'm happy to say he's my fake son forever. I love my fake son. I love him in real life. So Adam Sandler keeping kayfabe alive, proclaiming his love and adoration for one Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. And I mean, it is a big deal that MJF got this deal in Adam Sandler's movie. He's got a role as Adam Sandler's son that is canon. He's Happy Gilmore's son. MJF. The paternity test was taken. He is Happy Gilmore's son. That is crazy. Crazy work by MJF over here. Anyway, but no, shout out to MJF. I don't know when that movie is coming out. Actually, Michelle, you reminded me. Yeah, I do think we gotta go through that Goldberg thing, don't we? I actually might listen to some of the I might listen to some of the Goldberg thing on this broadcast. I've seen the comments in very short bursts. I haven't actually seen the actual interview. So maybe we do that. Maybe we take a listen to the broadcast today, or that on the broadcast today. Maybe we do that.
Free cookie for life.
Oh dear. Let's go to my premium account. I'm actually pulling it up
also
as we
on
speak.
Saturday.
As you can tell. All right. Well, I try to find that, guys. If there's anything in the comments or in the chat you want to talk about, we will get to it. I think it's this part, his relationship with WWE, or is it his farewell? Where did he crash out, guys? Let me know in the if anyone knows where in the video he crashed out. Maybe we just Maybe we just take a listen on like double speed or something. Sorry, I didn't even want to do this. But yeah, Goldberg comments. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that I was too thrilled about part of that, but
Which part were you not thrilled about?
No, well, I mean, the Saturday Night Main Event and live TV in Atlanta. I mean, you always have your dreams of how you're going to do things, and ultimately, to have a little bit more control over the time and the space would have been much more preferred. Let's just put it that way. And
so, for those of y'all wondering, again, I'm watching this for the first time, like all the way through. The reason why WWE had to cut Goldberg's speech was because they were going up right against that 10 p.m. hour on NBC. And the reason why NBC like can't do an overrun, like it is impossible, is because 10 p.m. is when NBC has to cut to the local news. Like the way broadcast television works is you have to cut to local broadcast at 10 p.m. That's kind of the deal that they have. And that is obviously not the case on cable. The networks on cable kind of control that a lot more, whereas the syndication aspect of broadcast TV makes it impossible for that. So even if WWE wanted an overrun and NBC wanted an overrun, it was just not feasible at that time. And you combine that with the fact that, look, for being honest, Goldberg was out there for what, 15, 16 minutes wrestling? You could have cut that down by 10 minutes. This could have been a 6-minute absolute, like, fast-paced, action-packed, like, meat-on-meat, like, action fest. I don't even know what to call it. But it wasn't. It was they went and had a respectable, like, 15-minute match. And at the end, they had no time left over. And Goldberg's speech got cut. That is just how it works. If I'm Goldberg, I am probably more angry with them about the way that they did not account for time in his match, because quite frankly, there ain't no reason for Goldberg in 2025 to be going like 15 minutes or longer. So let's see what he says.
But to be given that opportunity on such a special show with the lineage of the show, to be able to go against the world heavyweight champion, to be able to go against Gunther, I mean, hey, it was an honor and a privilege to be able to be given that opportunity, and I had to make the most of it.
In other words, would you have preferred a PLE?
100%.
Because you get more time?
Yeah, absolutely. They cut me off for freaking 20 seconds.
And he would have gotten more time on a PLE because Peacock, there's no restrictions. Peacock is like, hey, WWE, you want to go till 3 o'clock in the morning? Bet, we got you.
With the microphone in my hand, for God's sakes.
So I was working my way towards that.
I got 2 weeks, man. I got 2 weeks before I can really, spill the beans and, make my feelings kind of known about the entire rundown from.
So I'm not sure what he means by this, but I have seen this quote like floated around that he has 2 weeks, he has 2 weeks before he can talk about things. I'm not sure if that means that there's an NDA or there's a contract expiration that's coming up with him. Maybe that's why WWE was trying to fast track this Saturday Night Main Event kind of retirement angle for Goldberg. Maybe they saw that he was kind of up against it as far as the contract, and they said, all right, cool. We are going to put it into the Goldberg era in WWE at this time. I know, and we can talk about his, AEW stuff. That's a whole different mess. I don't even... if Goldberg was to go to AEW, I would be very surprised. But let's finish watching this.
The inception of the idea to its delivery, it was a little less than to be desired. But again, I'm not going to complain because not many people get that opportunity. There are a number of variables that were such that, you're put behind the 8 ball, and to be able to go out there and perform, 12, 13-minute match, 15-minute match, felt like 115 minutes. But, it was a great opportunity. And Gunther was an unbelievable.
I can also attest that match did feel like 115 minutes to me as well. I was also upset by how long that match was.
People got to work with. It was awesome. I had a good time, man. I was laughing in there when he was chopping me. I mean, I actually had fun.
By the way, the official time, I do believe, is 14 minutes and 23 seconds, which is your longest match since 2003, Triple Threat against Triple H and Kane.
Yeah, man.
That is crazy. That is crazy. 2003. That means this was Goldberg's longest match in 22 years. This was his longest match in 22 years. Longer than some of y'all have been alive. Like there were people who are watching this right now who weren't even born the last time Goldberg had a 14-minute match. That's wild. That's nuts. That's actually nuts. That's crazy.
And I mean, so where are all the people that said I can't go more than 2 minutes? And he sweats so much when he walks to the ring. People listen to me. I pour a bottle of water on my head before I walk to the ring. So there's a reason why I sweat all the time. And I sweat. So yeah, I couldn't have done it without my dance partner. And it was awesome, man. I've never chopped in my life. I've never been chopped in my life. Well, Flair chopped me, but that was fun, man. There were moments in that match where I actually enjoyed myself, and I can't say that I've done that very many times. So for that and a plethora of other little reasons, I think that I had a good time Saturday night. And so, I'm not even sore, man. My hand is the only thing that hurts a little.
Broken?
I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what happened. Maybe when I
broken. I don't know what happened, man. Look, it's crazy out there in that ring, brother. Like Goldberg keeping kayfabe alive. I'm not sure how much more of this is actually.
Become extremely good friends. He's an absolutely wonderful human being. He's taught me a lot.
Yeah.
I got 2 more weeks. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Just honored and privileged to have all those guys. I had like 10 guys all together, and then like I said, in 2 weeks I'll be telling everybody about the whole story.
What's the 2 weeks? What's the 2 weeks you're talking about? You have an NDA?
I got 2 more weeks. Yeah. Let's just say that. So
was that your idea? The walkout was your idea?
1,000%, man. I got to get there. I asked. There were a couple things that I asked for. I'm not going to ask for green M&Ms, but there were a couple things that I thought were really cool that I asked for, and a couple of them were granted, and a couple of them weren't. But Dillinger being there was really special. Obviously, I'm not going to throw wrestlers out as far as who I want in the crowd, because I don't really want to get into the relationships between the WWE and current and past wrestlers. So I didn't put many people down. I mean, I put a lot of big football players, and Tyrone Spong, was originally supposed to be there, and CT Fletcher was going to walk me out, and we were going to do all kind of different stuff. But all throughout the build up, I mean, I only had 3 weeks. We only had 3 weeks to get a hold of these people, right? And so it was tough to.
All right. I mean, I think we get the gist of like what Goldberg was doing there and why he was a little upset. I mean, look, my overall thoughts here are someone who has the legacy that Bill Goldberg does, you could certainly argue, deserves to go out in a way befitting a legend. Whatever you think about Bill Goldberg, whatever you think about, his propensity to, sometimes hurt people in the ring, which has happened. Happened with Bret Hart. It happened last Saturday with referee Charles Robinson. It happened with a couple of people throughout his career. Putting that to the side, what Goldberg meant to not just WCW, but pro wrestling in 1998, 1999 is something that can and not be like replicated. Eric Douglas asked, why was the video sped up? Because I'm not watching that on single speed. These people talk way, way too slow. I am like I'm like a 1.5. That's like what I watch most YouTube videos on these days. Anyway, but what Goldberg meant like to pro wrestling in those years, I don't think that there's been a surge or a feeling like that's been replicated in pro wrestling since then. I think there's been things that have like been big and probably bigger, but I don't think anything's captured like the imagination like Goldberg has. I don't think that there's been like a just a surge of momentum for one guy, like in this way. And, you can say that Bryan had it. You can say that Cody had it. You can say that was different. These were guys that were already household names, that were already beloved, that were already familiar to the audience. For someone completely new to come in the way that Goldberg did and be that like kind of like overnight phenomenon in the way he was, it's crazy. Eric Douglas brings up a good point. WCW probably would have died so much faster if it wasn't for him. I certainly believe that. If you look at the way that they were booking, if you look at the way that they were, I think certainly over relying on the NWO as a concept to kind of just cruise through shows and programs, Goldberg added a lot of excitement at a time where the excitement was winding down. And he kept that streak alive. He kept that red streak of he kept like all that momentum alive for much longer than I think it had any right being. But that was the magic of Goldberg in the late 90s. Bill Goldberg, at a time where WCW was very clearly creatively on the decline, put some life back into the company. And I think prolonged the success and the quite frankly, the profit that WCW was able to garner in those years. It wasn't until 99, 2000 where that began to decline the other direction. I think by that point, it was just far too late. No Goldberg, nothing could have saved them in the climate that they were in at that point. The creative was just too bad. And more importantly, the AOL Time Warner merger was just, it was not going to, WCW was not going to survive that. It was just not going to survive not having a TV station. And that's just the truth of it. But Goldberg and what he means to pro wrestling, I think, is something that's... And I obviously didn't watch it live, but I went back and I've seen like every WCW pay-per-view. I've seen basically every Nitro from 1996 to 2000. I had to tap out like mid-2000s WCW because I was like, all right, no more Nitros, just pay-per-views and all the way through because, wow, there were some Nitros that were just absolutely god-awful. At some point, I do need to do like a retro review of some of these WCW pay-per-views or something, but yeah. Michelle in the chat says, since his winning streak ended, he never did anything relevant. I don't think that's true. I mean, his return to his debut in WWE was very relevant. I think his return in 2016 was extremely relevant. I think that, that's in the eye of the beholder. I certainly believe that Bill Goldberg's return, like in 2016, was special. And had it stopped at the Lesnar match that they had at WrestleMania 33 in March or April of 2017, would have been fine. Would have been great. But it didn't. He came back. He got the Saudi blood money. He got like a concussion here and there. It overstayed its welcome. And, he wasn't good. He wasn't good for a very long time. And he was like, you could argue that Lesnar match, like that was probably the peak. I would say like that might be the best Bill Goldberg match, period. Like WCW included. The only thing, like, he had a match with Diamond Dallas Page at Halloween Havoc 98. That was like the infamous show where they had the Warrior Hogan rematch, and which was like the drizzling poops. And the story and drama behind that was at the Halloween Havoc show, like that year, because Warrior and Hogan went too long, and the deal with pay-per-view back in the day was you have a hard out on pay-per-view in the 90s. It was a hard out for everybody. It wasn't like it is today where you can kind of go for as long as you want. But they had a hard out at like 11. And the Warrior and Hogan thing went so long and it was so mistimed that nobody basically saw the majority of the main event, which was Bill Goldberg, Diamond Dallas Page, in arguably one of Goldberg's best matches for the WCW World Championship. Anyway, all that to say, I mean, yes, did Bill Goldberg deserve a more special ending to his WWE career? Certainly. Do I see him joining AEW? Probably not. I think we'd be hard pressed to find any. I mean, anything could change. Anything could happen. I just think, given some of Goldberg's derogatory, quite frankly, comments towards AEW and their kind of stature in the pro wrestling world, just recently, is like I think last year or something. I don't think that's in the cards. There was a conversation that was had between Tony and Goldberg at one point, and things didn't work out. So this is where it is. What's up, Frank? How you doing, my friend? I heard something funny that he might pop in AEW for another last match because he's mad at WWE for cutting him off. Yeah, I again, I'm not gonna rule anything out in that respect. I think, you never say never. I feel like we've all learned that as I tinker with the lights. I'm trying to find a color that like brings out my eyes. I don't know. We'll stick with this. But do I think that like Goldberg will go to AEW? I'm hard pressed to think that is going to happen at this point. Anything could change. CM Punk's back at WWE. Andrade is back at WWE. A lot has changed. A lot has changed in the pro wrestling world. And if you guys have changed and tuned into the show, be sure to smash that thumbs up like there's no tomorrow. That is not the only thing we got to talk about. Speaking of Bill Goldberg, we have another legend who actually spoke about Goldberg on their podcast, Rikishi, who's been crashing the F out, bro. Who's been crashing out like it's nobody's business. Yeet, yeet, yeet your mother loving yeet. Talking about Bill Goldberg and that retirement speech fiasco on his show, Rikishi Fatu Off the Top, which the name he stole from my boys over there, allegedly stole from my boys over there, Kiss the Ring. Rikishi, when asked how he would react if his retirement speech was cut off like Goldberg's, my speech wouldn't even be that long. Wait, Rikishi. I love Rikishi. I can't even read this with a straight face. My speech would, I will say this. I love the fact, I absolutely love the fact that Rikishi is in like his like hater era where he's just like, I'm thirsting to hate on anybody and anything out there. Like, this is, Rikishi's funny as hell. My speech wouldn't even be that long. I'd just say thank you for coming out. I'll see you next time. And pull out the check. $3 million. That's it. What about you? Yo. Rikishi's crazy. What would you? That's what they got social media for. You can get on there and get your own. There's a thing called Stories Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live. You got all the time you want there. Come on now, stop it, Martin. Shout out to Rikishi. This is nasty work right here. He just cooked Goldberg for no reason. Bro said, come on, bro, you got Stories Live, you got Facebook Live, you got Twitter Live. Pull out the check too, $3 million. Shout out to Rikishi. Oh my God, shout out to Rikishi. Oh, the ultimate hater. The ultimate hater. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. Do you blame him how WWE is treating his kid? Look, how's WWE treating his kid? Look, okay, come on. Rikishi needs to chill out about that whole thing, man. Rikishi's kids are fine. One of them just won the Royal Rumble. One of them's one half of one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And like one of them is on the come up in Solo Sikoa. The kids are all right. This is not this is not a damn mid 2000s rock song, all right? The kids are all right. They are indeed all right, okay? They're good. Like Jey Uso was the world heavyweight champion. And his reign, for all Rikishi wants to talk about, his reign being like, yeet, yeet, yeet your mother loving yeet. All he wants to talk about. Jey Uso's last title run was longer than Randy Orton's last title run, was longer than John Cena's last title run before this one. He's fine. He's fine. He is selling a lot of merch. He is making a lot of money. Roman Reigns, again, Rikishi likes to follow on like, oh, what they do to my family. I'm like, Roman Reigns, who last time I checked was in the Anoa'i family, was the world champion for 3+ years. The Anoa'i family is eating. Let's be honest. They're eating, okay? But, man, this is nasty work by Rikishi. I think I have one more Rikishi thing. I have one more Rikishi thing. Oh, this is him talking about if he's open to returning. Like I said, anything I can do to be able to be there and support, the family, it's got to be right. You know what I mean? I just don't want to be the person thrown in, right? I need to see your signs up on Monday Night Raw. I need to see your signs off SmackDown. Bring back Rikishi. That's what I need to see it. And so, yeah, I'm down to be able to, be a part of the original Bloodline crew and, be that wise man, whatever the part. Yo, nah, this is like insane gaslighting. He's like, yeah, man, I could be open to returning. I need to see those signs up, though. I need to see those signs up. I need to see y'all chanting my name. Like, this is him trying to get people to like, he's trying to get a grassroots movement going, but also not be pressed about it to bring back Rikishi. He's trying to have his own, like, R-Truth, we want truth moment, his own we want Cody moment, except, like, he's, like, trying to gaslight us into thinking that, like, he doesn't want to be there. This is funny as hell. Eric says, isn't a lot of Randy Orton's runs pretty short? Yeah, I mean, he was only champion like 14 times. They're bound to be short. Look at some of Triple H's title runs. They are very, very short. Some of those are extremely short. John Cena as well. John Cena's last title run before this current one, that was when he beat AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble, and then it was back in 2017. He beat AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble for the belt, and then he lost it to Bray Wyatt at Elimination Chamber in that match. And, it is, it's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. If you want a lot of world championship reigns like that, if you want to break the record, the 17-time world champion or whatever, you're going to have some short ones in there. Like, hold up, let's see. WWE title reigns. Now you guys got me on a side quest. Although y'all know me at this point. I do love a good side quest. Like, look at some of the shortest title runs. Like, yeah, you got like the Andre one where like he sold the belt and then was stripped of it. You got like Vince McMahon's 1-day title run. Kane was champion for a day in like 99. Oh yeah, Stan Stasiak was champ for a day. It's crazy. This RVD title run, it feels like he was champion for longer, but he was not. Like Batista had like a very short title run there. Bray Wyatt, that was the 49 days he was champion from Chamber to Mania. Yeah. Hold up. Where's Okay, these are combined reigns. Okay, no. I was trying to see like. Okay, yeah. Well, anyway, you got some like shout out to Bruno. Man, no one's touching Bruno. No one is touching Bruno at all, bro. This isn't crazy work. 4,000 days as champion. If you're in the wrestling business right now, don't be Hogan. Don't be Cena. Don't be Roman. Be Bruno Sammartino. This is nasty work right here. Shout out to the GOAT. The real GOAT of getting paid. Bruno Sammartino. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, the John Cena title was like, it was like 2 weeks long. That was like a 2-week long title reign for John Cena. Look at that right there. Randy Orton, 49 days. Although I think he had one more after this during COVID. Didn't he? Yeah, he had one more. It was like 20. It was like, like 22 days. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Orton is, Jey Uso's doing fine. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the point I'm trying to get. Yeah, he will come back for The Rock. I will come back for the people. I will come back for The Rock. Can you imagine that? Imagine Rikishi coming back for The Rock. He'd be like, I'm here for the final boss. You already know. Thoughts on AJ Styles' return to TNA? How do you feel about the collaboration between WWE TNA so far? I feel like they should do more crossover with the main roster now. I don't think that. I think crossover with the main roster is going to be very few and far between. You will get that like during moments like Joe Hendry coming out for WrestleMania, or definitely during the Royal Rumble. Outside of that, I don't see it really being a thing. Could it become a thing? Sure. I think the strategy, though, for WWE is to use it as a place to have fresh feuds for their NXT developmental talent, not necessarily for the main roster talent. I think they should consider having it as a place where main roster talent can go get some exposure and work some programs, especially talent like AJ Styles, who I think him being in TNA right now means more than him being in WWE, quite frankly. AJ has done everything there is to do, basically, at this point in WWE. I don't think he's going to win a Rumble. I don't think he's going to have another world title program. I don't think or a world title run, at least. I don't think that's going to happen for him. So for someone like him, I think it's perfect. Go back to where it all started. He is at the end of the road. He has stated that he is extremely close to retirement. He reportedly signed a 1-year deal. And if that's the case, then makes sense to have him collaborate with TNA. Other than that, I think you'll see the Trick Williams, the JCs of the world, go down to TNA and do work there. I don't necessarily think that the main roster thing is a priority for WWE, because right now, why would they give TNA main roster exposure outside of here and there? I just don't think I just don't think it's in the cards, to be honest with y'all. Also, I mean, WWE right now is just they're on one. TKO is on one. I don't think they want to. There's no value for them, right? Outside of giving their stars just another place to kind of practice in TNA. That's the value that TNA has. That's the value that TNA has right now for them. What else we got, guys? What else we got? You guys got to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, as always. We do have an update on AEW numbers here. Fightful here aggregated the following numbers, which is really dope. A great time to be a wrestling fan. TNA has their highest attended event in 10 years, and I think they crossed over 5,000 people are going to be there. That is a very, very good number. And people are going to say that, oh, TNA, they're in a building that's 20,000 or whatever. I don't care, man. TNA drawing 5,000 people that is crazy. That is crazy. That shows you how healthy their business is. The fact that TNA can draw 5,000 people, it shows you how hot professional wrestling is right now. And I do think they're going to have a very good house. It's going to look very nice on TV or on pay-per-view or whatever. And shout out to TNA, man. Shout out to TNA. You also have the news WWE generated more than 280 million viewing hours on Netflix in 2025. WWE, okay? I don't even know what this means. Someone needs to contextualize this for me. I haven't even done the math on this. But, hell yeah. 280 million viewing hours. Fuck yeah. WWE's cooking. AEW All In estimated doing 175,000 pay-per-view buys and did 725,000 in merchandise revenue via Wrestling Observer News. The AEW story is actually pretty crazy when you consider the fact that they also, at the ticketed gate, as reported by, I believe John Pollock had reported that AEW confirmed that it was $3 million going into the show. So that roughly means that this was one of their biggest gates to date. Probably I think the only ones that are ahead of most definitely the only ones that are ahead of this would be the first two all-ins, both at Wembley Stadium, both obviously drawing massive crowds, much bigger crowds, both a massive success for the company. The original Wembley show, I remember the ticketed gate number was $10 million. The second one was right around $6 million reported. And now this one, somewhere in the ballpark of $375 to $3 million or $4 million. Very, very good sign for them. AEW All In was also a success on pay-per-view. 175,000 pay-per-view buys. The fourth biggest in company history. To contextualize that, the biggest in company history, I believe, was All Out 2021. that had 100 or 200,000 plus pay-per-view buys. I believe the other ones I believe are all in the past couple of years, and then you have this show. So again, proving that All In is by far AEW's most successful entity, and that it is big business for them. It is certainly big business for them. And, all the talk about how WWE is going to, hurt AEW, I think we saw that NXT going head-to-head with AEW's biggest show is not going to necessarily move minds. Could we see a WWE main roster PLE go up against them? We could, but I also don't know if WWE wants to. I don't know if WWE wants to take that risk, quite frankly. And I'm not saying obviously the WWE show would have more people watching, but for them, it is about maintaining it's about maintaining the success of those main roster pay-per-views because, NXT is just content, if we're being honest, right? In the grand scheme of things, NXT is content. Those pay-per-views, those monthly pay-per-views that WWE does, those are where their bread is buttered. The TV and the pay-per-views, those main roster content is where their bread is buttered. That is how they get these, very lucrative streaming deals. That is how they are able to sell Peacock on the on the pay-per-view model that they have. And that's why I think next year when their deal is up, you could very well see WrestleMania be sold off as a separate entity. I certainly believe that. I would be very surprised if those conversations are not already starting in some way, shape, or form. I'm gonna I think that would just be the next business move for them. WWE is number one. Financially speaking, yes. WWE is number one. Number two is AEW, and number three is TNA. 100%. Do you think Santana wins tomorrow night? Absolutely. If Santana does not win the TNA Championship tomorrow night, there's going to be some problems. There's going to be some problems going on. And people will be very mad. But man, tomorrow's big. It's a big deal for TNA. It's a big deal for TNA fans. Big deal for wrestling fans in general. I hope we take the opportunity to enjoy it, man. I hope we take the opportunity to enjoy it. Because it has been a long time since TNA has been as important in the wrestling zeitgeist. And, it's been a long time since they've drawn this many people. I don't think, have they? What's the largest TNA crowd? They ran the Hoffman Estates back in what was it, 2011? No, it was 2007, 2008. Let's see. What is the largest TNA attendance? Oh yeah, it was the Alamo Dome show. Oh, or what is this? MCU Park? Okay, well that doesn't count. It's a house show, guys. Come on now. I think it was lockdown. This was the Alamo Dome. They had 7,200 in attendance. Yeah, this was a crazy setup, guys. This was a crazy setup. I mean, it worked out. It looked good on TV. It looked very good on TV, but the Alamo Dome obviously is a very massive football stadium. But the way TNA had it set up was kind of wild. It was shuttered off or whatever. But again, I mean, it's kind of how they had to do things for that specific show. Let me see. Okay, yeah. This is the map for the Alamo Dome show that they did. It's they basically shuttered it off. I mean, it looked good on TV, like I said. It looked very good on TV. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Any Jamie Hayter injury update? No. Not that I have heard. We do have a Kevin Owens injury update, though. Let's talk about it. So Kevin Owens, obviously Kevin Owens has been out with a very serious neck injury. He seems to be in good spirits. He's doing the Cody Rhodes podcast. He's doing he's done some media. He was around a couple of weeks ago and said the following. Kevin Owens, according to FightfulSelect.com, Kevin Owens underwent successful surgery on his neck on July 18th. So Kevin Owens seems to have had surgery on his neck. We've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for the news of this. And it looks like that's the first step in his road to recovery, hopefully. And again, anytime you're talking about neck injuries, those are very serious things. Those are very serious circumstances. Yeah. I just hope he's all right, man. I just hope he's all right. TNA is a company that will never die. I am happy for them now. They are. TNA is most certainly like the cockroach of professional wrestling. And I mean that in a very endearing way. Like, I'm joking, but like, man, like, that company has been through so much crap. Like what's that thing they say about cockroaches? Like, a nuclear bomb could go off and a cockroach would find a way to like scurry off. Multiple nuclear bombs have gone off in TNA over the past like decade, and they have found a way. They persist. The horrors persist, and so does Impact Wrestling. Shout out to them. Shout out to TNA. Shout out to everyone over there. Shout out to the real guy who I don't think gets enough credit for the resurgence of TNA, Scott D'Amore. Scott D'Amore, you know, I still think it was a mistake to get rid of him. I don't know what the backstage politics were behind that, obviously, but that's the guy who I would credit a lot of the success that we are seeing right now with TNA. I would very much so give Scott D'Amore his flowers, because I don't think TNA gets through that very weird period, or the pandemic for that matter. I don't think they get through any of that without Scott D'Amore. So shout out to Scott D'Amore. Big ups to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, as Taz would say. Yeah. What else we got, guys? What else we got? Do I have anything else? We can make it a quick show today. Actually, is it quick? It's been 40 minutes. Oh, okay. So we do have a clip here. So this is a bit of breaking news about Brock Lesnar. Y'all want to talk about that? So a little bit of breaking news about Brock Lesnar. Daniel Cormier speaks on Brock Lesnar's supposed ban, WWE ban. Let's take a listen to what he had to say, courtesy of the Mighty Mouse podcast. Oh, sir, it's courtesy of Demetrius Johnson.
Best choice.
Maybe one day we might get you Brock versus DC in WWE.
I mean, Brock is on the ban list right now.
Is he?
Oh, dude, Brock got into so much trouble. He tried to hold me up for this shit. He know what Brock did. I ain't telling you on air what Brock did. Okay, Brock is so much trouble.
All right, so I had someone who sent me this earlier, and like, I think the quote like probably sounded a lot worse than what it, or not worse, I want to say, like a lot more official than what it was. Sorry, sending a message. Anyway, but yeah, okay. So it looks like DC kind of stated, I don't know about all that. It didn't come across to me that this is like insider knowledge or something. It came across more so as, DC kind of just like saying like, hey man, I don't know about that. Like, it seems like a serious situation, with the whole Brock Lesnar thing. So we'll see. What the hell is this? Bryan Danielson shares he's training to be a volunteer firefighter. That is the most like Bryan Danielson thing I could probably think of. Yeah, Bryan would do some stuff like that. Tekla is finally all elite after all that time. We got the graphic, people. Tekla is finally all elite. It took them long enough. Although I feel like the all elite graphics don't mean as much as they used to be honest with you. Like, it doesn't look the same, man. Like those OG like all elite graphics were those hit. Those hit. Like, look at the like the CM Punk one. Jesus. Let me see if I can I pull this up? Like, look at this one, bro. Like that's an all elite. Like, you know what it is? I do think it's like the logo and like the difference between like the logo and kind of how edgy it is, and like how this like the text is kind of breaking through. This is like where you're getting my like creative design brain going. Like, this is just too clean. Yeah, nah, this is like just too clean and boring for real, for real. Like, shout out to Tekla for getting it, but like, nah, man. Like, look at that. That's like, this goes hard. Bring back the old logo. This is ass, bro. This is trash. Bring back the old logo, AEW. What are we doing? I mean, it's a fine logo, but like, you know, like it's just kind of boring. Like this is interesting. I know they had to move away from like the marble or whatever because they wanted to be taken more seriously. But I am, when it comes to like logos and stuff, like I hate how like everything's become like so just like not manufactured, but like just like boring, man. I feel like everything is just so boring these days as far as like branding and logos go. Everything's so plain. It's just that clear text. I'm like, where's the fun? Where's the edginess? Where's like the creativity? It just feels like everything is just like so clean cut now. Like we're not getting any like anything different. And that's why like when you do get the stuff that's like kind of different, it stands out. I was watching this video earlier today about like Fanatics. It's like I forgot who it was by. Like I think this is it. I won't get cooked because I don't know if this guy is gonna I don't know if this guy is like very serious about it, but like I was watching this video about Fanatics earlier. So shout out to John Weigel. Shout out to John, but like yeah, no, like I would highly recommend y'all go check out this video after the stream. Like he breaks down like the whole like Fanatics thing and like the downfall of WWE shop and like why their merch is kind of bad. I mean, like quality wise, I don't think there's that much of a difference between AEW merch and WWE merch, unless we're talking about like the masks or whatever. Like, I mean, the masks that AEW produces some ass masks, but yeah, no, like Fanatics like is very emblematic of like how bad things have gotten in the world of like just merch in general. Like you try to buy an NFL jersey, you can barely find like stitched jerseys. It's just crazy. Give me so much trauma from the CM Punk All Elite post. Yeah. Hey man, come on. I'm hurt, I'm tired, and I work with effing children. I feel like Seth might cash in at SummerSlam for a title end of night too. I think so too. That's probably the plan. That would seem to make sense for me. What else? What else is going on out there, guys? I think that might be it. Oh, actually, I mean, speaking of, might as well just do this. I did come out with a video earlier today. I'm not sure if y'all have had a chance to check it out. I highly recommend you do. Talking about the problem with celebrities in wrestling these days. I'm really enjoying the new format of like video essays and stuff. But yeah, no, like
celebrity.
I am very like proud of this. So let's take a listen.
Celebrities have always had a place in professional wrestling. From Cyndi Lauper to Mike Tyson to Mr. T, celebrities have always been important to not only grounding professional wrestling in pop culture, but also elevating it in the eyes of the general public. Yet in 2025, you could make the argument that the way WWE uses celebrities has changed for the worse. And in this video, we are going to talk about the two.
There's a stitch coming. This is why. There's a reason why I'm showing you all. There's a bit of a stitch coming that I think will make the video actually kind of funny.
Two biggest culprits of this, that being Travis Scott and more recently Jelly Roll, I think is his name. Jelly Roll. We're going with Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll. There's a lot of jelly there. Anyway,
I don't know. I just thought that was funny. Guys, go check out the video. It's really cool. I kind of break down the problem with celebrities in pro wrestling. I also got like another one posting on the main channel soon. Wrestle Vibes that came out with a video about like, you know, just how snake bit Adam Cole's career has unfortunately been in AEW. So please go check that out as well. It's youtube.com/Wrestle Vibes. And then Real Take Sports, we're also popping off over there on Real Take Sports, where the Max Kellerman video did very well. Shout out to everyone who watched it. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. And I just posted the downfall of FS1 as well. So posting across channels, doing a lot of content, people. Doing a lot of content. That's what I do, though. I like making content. What would be the bigger deal? Kenny Omega going to WWE or Roman Reigns going to AEW? Roman Reigns going to AEW. The AEW be hitting $1 million every week. AEW, if Roman is like even a semi-constant fixture on AEW TV, they are hitting $1 million every week, guaranteed. And I mean $1 million on cable. On cable, they are hitting $1 million. It would be Roman. I love Kenny. I love Kenny a lot. But we're talking about draw. It'll be Roman in the grand scheme of things. Kenny to WWE would be wild because, I mean, I just don't know how it would depend on how they handle him, honestly. Because I can see a world where he goes there and they just don't let him cook, and like he just aura farms. And look, I would argue no one in AEW aura farms better, and than Kenny Omega, but you can only do that for so long. But we'll see. You watched Jelly Roll and Randy Orton on the Late Show. I did see that he got put through a table, or Logan Paul got put through a table. I did see that. I did not watch I don't watch like that any of those late shows, because they're all kind of trash. Except of course for the Daily Show. If Jon Stewart is on, I'm always watching. I'm always there for Jon Stewart. Shout out to Uncle Jon Stewart. Shout out to Unc. Big the OG. The reason why there's a mic in front of me right now is Jon Stewart. I mean, among like a billion other people, but no. Shout out to Jon Stewart. That's the only late show I really F with. I unfortunately feel like it's really time for Kenny to consider retiring. Yeah, he said as much. Kenny said as much. He did an interview with Meltzer recently. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. He did an interview with Wrestling Observer recently, right before All In, where he's talked about that. Like, he is close to he's basically semi-retired, I would say, at this point. I would not expect to see Kenny Omega as a permanent wrestling fixture, like, week to week. That's never going to be the thing again. He just has too many lingering injuries. The diverticulitis situation is obviously very serious. I would be very surprised if Omega is wrestling week to week. It's just not going to happen, I don't think. I think he's going to be there for big programs. He's going to be there for pay-per-view matches and all that, but he, as far as I know, is taking time off. And he's like, people don't understand, like, on top of, like, coming back from diverticulitis and nearly dying, Omega has been dealing with a lot of actual, he's been dealing with, like, some, like, injuries. He's in a lot of pain, and he's wrestling through it, and he's been wrestling through it. At a certain point, he's got to pace himself. Reason why I asked is because I feel like the biggest WWE stars will not entertain the idea of going to AEW. On the other hand, I feel like Kenny would consider going to WWE. It depends. Everything ebbs and flows. Everything ebbs and flows. And I promise you this. WWE would never allow a situation where Roman is able to entertain a contract offer from AEW. And that's really the big hurdle. WWE would make it impossible for one of their top people to go, and we'll try to make it impossible. And it's a situation where they would have to be willing to go. Like again, if you are a talent and your contract is coming up, unless you really are like, I can't stand it here anymore, I want out, a lot of people are content with where they are. So they're like, so when TKO or WWE comes to them with a contract offer, they're like, okay, it's a lot of money, I'll sign. And that's before AEW can have a chance to really make an offer. But if they get to the point where an offer can be made, I think AEW, knowing how like well their business is right now, and knowing like Tony Khan's propensity to invest in that business, I would be very shocked if a significant offer wasn't made to them. Like, if Roman tomorrow was able to negotiate a contract with AEW, or at least get an offer, it would make him consider it. I promise you that. Whether or not he goes is a totally different thing. The reason why AEW, or the reason why stars like don't get to entertain an AEW offer is because a lot of times they don't have the chance to. They're still under contract and re-signed while they're under WWE deals, right? You know, and again, it would need to be a cope situation. It would need to be you know, like a situation like that where there's literally nothing to do and both sides agree and they're out. Again, he goes to WWE, he will have a lot of people to wrestle in that company. Yeah, he would in theory, but I think he would only have like 1 or 2 big programs there. Finn is having way too much fun with his character. Yeah, he is. And you can tell, like, he is having the time of his life. Even though I'm kind of over the Judgment Day stuff, I know Finn is enjoying the hell out of it. And shout out to him, man. He's making a lot of money, and he's doing it. Although he is Pin Balor right now, bit of the Pin Balor situation with him. All right, guys. I'm done. I'm done. I'm tired. We've gone for about an hour. It's been a fun time. Sure to smash that thumbs up if you haven't already. Fun Saturday stream. Got some more content I'm cooking up, and I will continue to cook up. Until next time, be happy, be healthy. As always, thank you, and keep it real.